Hi guys, it's Alia. Welcome back to my channel. So here is another book, another journal for my Etsy restock. And this journal I am so super excited about. And I know I've talked about this in, I don't know, one of my last videos when I was talking about journals and stuff. I've always wanted to make a journal that using a book cover. So, you know what I mean? It's like a complete book cover, but I just was never comfortable on how to do the binding. Cause normally if I did a hardcover, the binding would be poked through the spine. And then, you can cover it with lace or leave it or whatever. But with the books, since it has the spine, I didn't want to poke holes through it. So I had to kind of learn and get comfortable with doing the spine where you create the spine, on the inside. So I did. And this is what I came up with, and I'm just so excited about the way this came out. And I don't want to sound like, I'm boasting or, I'm being like that. I've never done this. And so this is my first actual book, and I'm really happy with the way it came out. So I'm just trying to convey that, not like I'm trying to show off or anything. So hopefully it doesn't come across that way. So the book cover that I'm using, it's very vintage. It is a little worn, but I think that just gives like a great, I don't know, vintage element to it. And it says Macaulay's Works Illustrated History of England, Volume 3. I love it because, and I'm pretty sure you can see it maybe faintly, how it's embossed on the top and the bottom, and it's the same, on the back. And then there's an empty space here. So realistically, whoever has this journal, if you want to add something here, like a title or a name, you could definitely do that. But so excited with this one. And it's 3 signatures, which I don't normally do multi-signature journals. Occasionally I do. I just normally am very comfortable with the 1 signature ones. So that was also something a little different. So let's get right into it because it is a long journal. So on the front, I wanted to leave the front and back covers just as is. So this is the original, paper from, am I in frame? Oh yeah, I am. From the inside. And then here, I just have a little glassine bag, and there's a little note from the bookmaker in there. And then, of course, you can tuck whatever else you want in there. I also left the back open, so if you wanted to, tuck something behind there, you absolutely can too. I just wanted it kind of just as a little pocket for that. So first page, and this book also is filled with vintage things, from paper to ephemera, to decorations. Like this is a vintage, I think this came off of like a matchbook cover, Fraser's Groceries. So that was neat. This is one of those pages that folds out into this is like a tuck spot, but it folds out into a complete page. This is not vintage. This is a Tim Holtz die cut. But this is vintage. I mean, look at those cars. There's a little bit of a glare, but hopefully you can see the cars. Love that. And this is world famous farmers market in Hollywood, California. So it's a farmers market. Super neat. Super cool. So here's some vintage book pages, music pages. So I think actually what's not vintage in here are the coffee dyed papers, and I used scrapbooking paper too. That is not vintage. But everything else, most of the papers, I believe are. If there's something that's not, I'll let you know. But all the book pages that I've used are vintage. This Tim Holtz piece, so that's not vintage, not a vintage decoration either. This, though, this is from November 19th, 1940 something. Maybe 1940, I'm not sure. A little... see, it was from Dr. and Mrs. William Nixon Holmes. And it was an RSVP to attend a wedding. So I thought that was really neat. And I loved how back in the day, when you send out invitations to an event or a party or whatever, then people actually RSVP'd via letter, because I have a bunch of RSVP letters going to Miss K Sack. And oh my gosh, that is just so neat. Now it's kind of like everything's done through email or like e-invite or text or, you know, whatever. So, but back then you had to send an RSVP by mail. Here's some vintage, it's kind of like a typewriter paper. It's really neat. And here, so this is a tag that I made with my scraps. You can journal on the back. This here is like a little invoice receipt from 1970 from Curacao. And this looks like they bought a bunch of things, probably, you know, on their vacation. And there's their receipt. So some more vintage papers. Hotel Medford. This is a vintage envelope. Inside, I have a vintage picture. This is a picture I think my mom or my dad took. I don't know what they were taking pictures of, but I mean, I thought it would be just a nice journaling card and you could write on the back of it. Because I know that my dad is an electrical engineer, or was. He's retired now, but when they lived in the Philippines for a while, he would take pictures, and I'm thinking he's taking a picture of the wires, because they did a lot of, you know, that kind of stuff with his job. So he has a lot of pictures of like wires and transformers and electrical things. So I thought they were always taking pictures of like, you know, scenery. But then my mom was like, no, he's taking pictures of, you know, certain electrical stuff, either that the company is working on or he did or whatever it might be. But I thought it was just so funny. So I took a bunch of pictures that she just didn't want to keep anymore. And I was like, well, I can give him new life in a junk journal. Here's a little tuck. This is not vintage either. It's coffee dyed tag. Let's see. Here's the middle of the first signature. And in the middle of each of the signatures is exactly the same setup, just different papers. So what it is you have a big tuck, so you can tuck something big behind here, and then a little tuck in the front. So here is another 1933. It's Edmonton Direct Relief. And so it looks like a grocery receipt or a grocery order possibly. So that is really cool. And then this one on this side is, I believe this one's blank. Oops. Yeah, this is a blank one from Berlin, Wisconsin. So you would put your, I guess your order or whatever it might be there. And then here is a tag that I made. You can journal on the front there or the back. And this is another just Tim Holtz ephemera piece. And this here is the back side of a Tim Holtz scrapbook paper. And this is a glassine bag. And in the bag, I think we have just this, the tag. Some little book pages, bits and pieces. Here, neither one of these are vintage. This is a Tim Holtz tag here. And this is one of the little tags that I made using the paper dolls. And these two are vintage. This is Many Happy Returns. So this is a birthday postcard. It was never posted though, and it's too bad because I would like to have seen the date, you know, for when this was sent, but it was not posted. But that's okay because this is still a really cool card. And this is a vintage picture. It looks like a field, maybe a wheat field or something. Not sure. And here's another, and I'm pretty sure that this is from a matchbook because I had a bunch of them in one of these lots that I won, and they're all roughly about the same size, and it's different like restaurants and or things like that. So that's why I'm thinking it must have been from a matchbook. And inside this, we have a tag with some, you know, papers to journal on, several papers there. And then you can also journal on the back there as well. Oops. That tucks down inside. And this is, it came out of somebody's scrapbook, I'm thinking, because it looks like there's like adhesive, so it was adhered in somewhere. It's yellowed. I don't know if that shows up on camera. So this is definitely vintage. And this is White Goods, Hamburg, lace, and Irish point trimmings. Beautiful designs at Church and Phelan's. So that is cool. And you can definitely use that as a journaling card. So here's the second signature. Again, I think a matchbook cover. I'm just going to call them matchbook covers. If I'm wrong, I apologize. But to me, that's what it is. We have a Tim Holtz ticket and another paper doll ticket that I made. Not ticket, tag. This is a tag too. And here, this is a vintage calling card. This is Alice. And I can't read the last name. And this is another one of the RSVPs for whatever event they were having in 1947. Oh, so the other one is 1947, where I couldn't read what date it was. And here is another vintage postcard. And this one was from 1916. How cool is that? This is over 100 years old. So it's not even vintage now. Technically, it's antique. So that's really cool. And this is vintage, 1970. Another little receipt of goods that were purchased while on vacation. And another Hotel Medford. And just some fun things there. Here is Helene's shop. And this is another when they were on vacation. This person bought 5 dolls. And then one of something else. So another doll. So it must have been 5 types of one doll and 1 type of another doll. So that's pretty neat. She's getting all her souvenirs. So again, here is the middle of the signature. See how it's set up exactly the same? So I have one of my tags that I made there and an altered playing card. And then behind this, we have When Day is Done. It's a postcard. It looks kind of vintage, but it's not posted or anything, no writing. So I'm not exactly sure from when it was from. This is not. This is just, made to look vintage, but it's not a vintage piece. And here's another altered glassine bag with a coffee dyed tag inside. And here is a vintage picture. I'm not sure where this is, and I don't believe this was one of my dad's pictures or my mom's pictures. I could be wrong, but I don't think it was. And then this is a Tim Holtz ephemera. And in this, we have a tag with several sheets to write on, and then you can also write on the back. And another flip out. This, though, I believe this is from a game piece, because it says, see, 4th jump, go back 5 spaces. So I believe this is from definitely a vintage game, but it's not from a matchbook cover. This is Tim Holtz. This is Los Angeles Civic Center Mall. So this is, it is vintage. And I believe this stuff came out of, because it looks like it was cut. It comes out of, one of those souvenir booklets where you get several postcard type things and of a place. That's what I think it is. So here's the last signature. How am I doing for time? I think I'm pretty good. Okay, this is Meet Me at the White Spot. So again, I believe it's a matchbook cover. Here is a journaling card that I made. And then you can write on the back of it. I really like this one. I wanted to really hold on to it, but, I make things and I should not hold on to them. I make them so I can decorate journals and stuff. But I just love the way this looks, the way it came out. I stamped. This is when I was playing with stamps. So I stamped the rose. I stamped the rose word down there. I did the edges. Normally, I ink my edges always with walnut stain. Always. But I went outside my comfort zone and I stamped in this reddish color. So, yeah. Just pretty proud of myself. And I love the way it turned out. So I can't always be afraid to, you know, do other colors besides my walnut stain. Here's another RSVP from 1947. And here is another receipt from the same trip for those other invoices. And this is from the Candle Room in the Medford Motel. It's basically, you get a free dinner. Every time you eat, you know, you get a punch out, and then after the 12th meal, you present this and you get a free meal. And those go to the Medford Hotel was here. See, same hotel. So it was the restaurant that was in that hotel. Some more vintage book pages. Oh, Medford Hotel again. And some goodies in there. And this is like a kind of like a letterhead, basically, just blank, so you can definitely write on that. Middle again, and here we have, this is not exactly sure what this is. It something from Spain. Oh, it's okay. We certified that the necklaces created here, so it's basically they must have bought some sort of necklace. Date of purchase, it was gray, whatever it was. And this is kind of, I guess, like a, I don't know, a receipt of purchase. Not sure. Here's a calling card. It's a vintage calling card, not a reproduction. This is Tim Holtz. I didn't put anything behind here because the book was getting kind of thick, and actually I will show you. Hold on. I have so much more stuff, you know, a big package left over. All this stuff was supposed to go in here, but it was getting pretty full. So I didn't want to keep sticking stuff in, but it definitely comes with the journal, and you know, it can be switched out. You can take out all the stuff in here, put what you want in there, or you know, you can definitely use the stuff in the bag and, you know, finish decorating everything. I just kept it minimal so it wasn't too thick, but it does come with a tie, so you can make it as thick as you want. Here's Tim Holtz. Because I do like to load my journals up. There's some Monopoly money. And this is another matchbook thing. These are not vintage. I won't pull them out. They're just tags. And my little signature here, handmade with love, and I signed my name. Yeah, so basically, see, it's a little thick as it is. It does come with a tie, so it can be thicker. So if you want to use this stuff in here, you definitely can. If you want to just pick and choose what you have in here, you can definitely do that too. But, you know, there's just so much you can do with it. So this will come to complete whatever decorations or whatever uses you have for the journal. I just didn't put it in because I didn't want it to be so super packed. I just love this journal. And when I did order these covers, they came in a pack of 5. So there's this, and now I have 4 more covers that are all different sizes. So I definitely want to, you know, definitely attempt to do another journal like this again, because now I'm comfortable with how you do it. So it's not so like scary, and it's not so like, oh gosh, what do I do? What do I do? And you know, it came out really, really nice. So I am pleased with this, and I hope you enjoyed the little walkthrough of this journal as well. It is available if you are interested in my Etsy shop, so I will leave the link below in the description box so you can go check this out. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye!